Hi, Lily. Thank you for sending me your dream and allowing me the opportunity to interpret it for you, give you a little bit of insight about what's going on in your unconscious mind. In case you're new here, tap subscribe. The way that we typically do things is I will read through your request, I'll talk about the symbols, and then we'll talk about how they apply to your life. So here we go. I lost my dad very suddenly in June of this year due to the health complications. The first appearance I've had from him in a dream was a few weeks ago. In the beginning, I remember him trying to hurt me. He was chasing me, but I have no clue why. You said it's very common for me to have nightmares of people chasing and trying to kill or hurt me. All of a sudden, he yelled my name, and I turned around and he was in a wheelchair. Even though he's never been in a wheelchair at any point in my life, when I turned around, he had a container in his hand of some poison, and he sprayed it into his mouth. I have no clue what this liquid was in my dream. I knew that this was going to kill him. I immediately ran to him crying and asked him why he did that, but I can't remember what he said. The next thing I remember is running as fast as I can, bawling my eyes out, pushing him in the wheelchair all the way to the hospital. The whole time I was running to the hospital with him, he was also crying and just kept saying over and over, "I don't want to die," even though he had intentionally sprayed the fatal liquid into his mouth. I couldn't get him to the hospital on time before he passed away. A lot of symbols here, in a pretty intense dream. I'm sorry about the loss of your father. Those things are very difficult, and I hope you get the care and the attention you deserve for that. But as far as the dream goes, let's kind of dive into this here. So oftentimes, what will happen is two sorts of things, especially when someone passes away. Um, the brain will do two things. One, as kind of a wish fulfillment, as a way to hope that they kind of come back. It will give you images of them. It's very common for a loved one to dream about a family member who passed away, as a way to try and get back in touch with that person. It's kind of wishing that they were still around. But two, it will also mean that, how should I put that best? It will also really mean that and represent that this is a part of you. And so you think about it. I mean, your dad, like, whether he was close or not, had a significant role to play in your life, and that is internalized as a part of yourself. We often, and everyone does, internalize their mother and their father as images that make up who they are. And so this image is trying to connect with you. But in the image, the father figure, your father, is trying to hurt you. And so, as you may have heard me kind of interpret and say before, when we're running from something that's trying to kill or hurt us, it's a part of ourself that we're kind of rejecting and not really getting connected with. It wants to get our attention, um, and, but we're scared of it. We feel like it's going to hurt us, and maybe it will. But it's important for us to acknowledge, understand, and to really move close to it, because it's like a kid who sees their closet in the dark. Because it's dark, we fear it more. Because we don't know it, we're more afraid of it. Anything that's unknown, our mind kind of automatically tags as negative. And so for you, these things that are unknown inside yourself get marked as negative. They're bad. They're going to kill and hurt me, whether they are or not. But that image of your father is inside of you. And furthermore, that image of your father is in a wheelchair. Wheelchair means handicapped, obviously, lack of mobility. And so it doesn't have legs to carry it. I know you may have heard, a similar saying to that, doesn't have legs to stand on, like an argument doesn't have legs to stand on. Well, this idea of your dad that you're afraid of doesn't have legs to stand on. It's actually not as scary as you think. It's a crippled idea, but it kind of runs your life because you're afraid of it. You have to accept that it's a part of you. And then it goes on to do something more. Not only does it not have legs to stand on, but it poisons itself. It is self-sabotaging. And so my thought here, Lily, is that your mind is really trying to help you understand that there's parts of you that are sabotaging yourself. There's parts of you that you think are logical, but don't have a leg to stand on. That, especially that father figure idea, really really symbolizes this masculine identity and the logical identity that we have. When you think about sort of the interplay between opposites. You've got masculine and feminine, mother and father. Mother being emotional, father being logical, disciplinary, and judgmental, right? You've got feminine energy, which is very spiritual, very family, very connected, very relational. And you got masculine energy. It's very much like, I'm going to take this chaotic world and subdue it. I'm going to put it into little boxes, organize it, label it, and go out and tame the unknown. And so you've got this way of trying to deal with the unknowns of life um, that is not working for you. And maybe you even know that. And as I'm saying it, you're like, oh, geez, wow, yeah, I get it. This hasn't been working for me. And so it's time to pay attention to that. But there's a problem. It's the end of the dream. The end of the dream is that you start bawling your eyes out and you try and save your father. And so there's this self-sabotaging nature that you have within you, um, but you're also trying to save it. You're afraid of losing it. And so there's this tension where you're afraid of it, but you're also afraid of losing it. And so it's this confusion that you feel. You have to confront that confusion, move through it, and then allow it to kind of pass. Now, I don't know what kind of person your father was. I mean, you didn't go into that here, but I also would really, really encourage you to think about that symbol of your father and what your father means to you, because that's going to be a lot of the insight into this self-sabotaging, this part of yourself that is not working out for you. I tell people all the time, pause the video right here and think of 3 to 5 things right off the top of your head, free flow, no censorship. When you think of your dad, you think of blank. If you've paused and come back, one of those things or a combination of those things is going to be the answer that you're looking for. That is the part of yourself inside that is sabotaging, that is holding you back, that you're afraid of, but also afraid of losing. And so if you can confront that, you'll be free to live the life that you want to live. You don't want to die, just like it said in the dream. You want to be successful, you want to achieve your goals, but you've got to sort this one out. I hope this gives you the courage and the insight to do it. You are capable. Your mind already knows the work that needs to be done, and it's trying to lead you down that path. So I hope you take the opportunity and listen to yourself, because you're wiser than you think. I think I got through everything in the dream. If there's any other questions that you have, Lily, please let me know. Send me an email back, put a comment down below. If I can be of extra help and you want to go a little bit deeper, you're always welcome to schedule a coaching session with me using hypnotherapy, dream interpretation stuff to have a live one-on-one kind of conversation. But either way, it's not about that. I just want to be here for you in whatever way that can support you best. Until next time, Lily, thank you so much for being here, for supporting what I do. I'll talk to you again very soon. Peace.